thank you very much for attending this workshop. The workshop is entitled Lessons Learned from a COIL Seminar, a cross-cultural international didactic experience. So I have this question because the idea is that you participants participate in an interactive digital activity. That is the main core of this workshop. So I am Richard Vargas, a member of NIDIT in the International Teaching Training team. And I have a special guest today is Professor Verena Dolle. She will explain later something about a virtual international course that she carried out with other international teachers. So now I will go to the next, sorry, because I'm having some difficulties here. So here we have the content of this presentation. This presentation consists of 5 parts. So the first introduces the embedded model that I call embedded levels of teaching and learning in COIL. The second describes the VIP course, Desigualdades in América Latina, or Inequalities in Latin America. The third part exposes 3 important components of this VIP Virtual International Program course at the JLU, Justus Liebig University. The fourth part just introduces the teaching and learning under the COIL framework. COIL means, well, I will explain that later, don't worry about that. And finally, as I said before, you will carry out an interactive task. Yeah, so that is something that we will do later. So the objectives, so by the end of these sessions, participants will be able to get familiar with an embedded model for learning and teaching in international digital scenarios using COIL as an example. The second objective is distinguish 3 components of the VIP course, Desigualdades in América Latina. These components are institutions, lecturers, and I will make an overall description of this seminar with the help, of course, of Professor Dolle. The third objective is that you will recognize main pillars of this VIP course, specifically objectives, characteristics, and benefits. The next objectives is you will identify some benefits of COIL for implementing cross-cultural and didactic experiences. And finally, you will infer some lessons learned from a COIL seminar using the VIP course Desigualdades in América Latina, or Inequalities in Latin America, as a case study. So this is the model that I introduced, so to speak. This is the model that I call embedded levels of teaching and learning in COIL. It consists of a set of graduated sized layers. So in this case, you can see 2 circles. So here we have Desigualdades in América Latina, the VIP course. And then this circle is embedded within another circle. And this is the VIP or the Virtual International Program model. And these 2 circles are inside a triangle that is the COIL framework. So this model resembles a Russian matryoshka doll or Russian tea dolls, in which a set of wooden dolls of decreasing size are placed one inside another. So I think that you recognize this doll. Now, here we have the course, the VIP course, Desigualdades in América Latina. And I will give the floor to Professor Dolle to give just like a general description, her experiences about this course. So, Professor Dolle, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, dear Richard, and thank you for the invitation, and hello and good morning to everybody. I'm very glad to be here again in this on this occasion on the NIDIT Teaching Day, and I'm very happy to be here with you. And today I'm here as a voice from real digital international teaching life, so a voice from practice. And I will tell you briefly two examples from my cross-cultural international didactic experience in these seminars. Well, the setting is the following. So far, I've conducted 4 interdisciplinary seminars on Latin American topics. First, on experience of violence in internal conflicts and dictatorships, and the other 2 seminars on inequalities in Latin America. The seminars had an international, interdisciplinary public from public and private universities from different countries and continents, mainly 2 continents, Europe and Latin America, Colombia, Chile, Peru, and Brazil, and in one case from Africa. So we had participants from different cultures and 3 different continents. Our course language was Spanish, so that means that we didn't have only native speakers, but many of the participants had Spanish as a foreign language and had to make it in that foreign language. Furthermore, we had an international team of 4 professors from Argentina, Colombia, and Germany, with different teaching and learning habits and experiences. And I will give you briefly 2 examples concerning my personal experience in the last seminar we held in this summer. First of all, there was a, so to say, irritating form of address the Colombian students made when they said to us or to me, hola, profe. For those who are not able to speak Spanish, profe is the abbreviated form of professor, profesora, y hola is the greeting form. So I wondered throughout the seminar and was slightly irritated if hola, profe was something that showed a lack of respect as a quite informal form of address. And then we discussed it with the professors, with my colleagues from Argentina, Colombia, and Germany. And it turned out that it was specifically Colombian, and I discussed it with Richard as well, but that it was not at all a lack of respect, but a form to get into contact. And that is a sort of, well, quite important in digital times and in digital distance. It has to do, I would say, with a sort of familiarity and with proximity, and maybe with that what Ian Davis in his keynote speech this morning called belonging. The second example I would like to share with you is that when we had our first session with the introduction of participants from, as I told you, different countries and different cultures, and we made this for sure to create a seminar cohesion and belonging to the group for the next few weeks, I noticed a fundamental difference. The colleague from Colombia, it was every seminar was held out as synchronic seminar in live. The colleague from Colombia introduced herself by showing a photo of her family, her husband, her 4 children, and herself. Something that in Germany, at least in my area, is rather unusual. And I immediately thought of data protection, privacy, etc. When I discussed that with a member of our Center of University Didactics, we decided to offer a typical photo of our city instead of Gießen, to focus on our location, not on my person. And you can guess what I showed. It was a Elefantenklo, the elephant's loo, for sure. And so I try to create a sort of proximity in the digital sphere and the sort of familiarity with the location of Gießen in the digital sphere. But apart from these critical but fructiferous incidents that made us think about our teaching, learning, and communication culture, the seminars have turned out very well and successful due to mutual respect and inspiring discussions and input from students and colleagues' side. It has been for me an enriching teaching experience thanks to the pandemic and the commitment of our universities. So far, my brief comments on my experience. And now I pass over to Richard again.
Thank you very much, Professor Dolle. I will continue with my presentation. I think that you can see the presentation well.
Not you.
Okay. And and now I will, just after this general description that Professor Dolle provided, I want to discuss some characteristics of this VIP course. So this was a collaboration between 3 institutions, so 2 universities, the Justus Liebig University with Universidad de Rosario University in Colombia. So they worked together, but also the CAPAS Institute was involved. This is very important to speak about, you know. So this is the German Columbia Peace Institute. It's a center of excellence in research and teaching that operates in Germany and Colombia, and they discuss things about peace building, the creation of peace in Colombia and conflict, etc., etc. So that was like this collaboration between 2 universities and this institution, the CAPAS institution. The lecturers were international, as Professor Dolle mentioned, and I would say that this is an international teaching community, because Professor Dolle has worked with Professor Stefan Peters, with Professor Rosario Figari and Dr. Lali Peralta in Colombia, and they have carried out different VIP courses, which is very, very interesting. So Professor Dolle and Stefan Peters are from Germany, from the Justus Liebig University. Professor Dolle works for the department number 5, Romance Studies. Stefan Peters worked for this institute number 1, Law Sciences. And Dr. Rosario Figari also is a professor, is a teacher at the Justus Liebig University. She works for department number 1, Law Sciences. She is from Argentina. And finally, last but not least, Professor Lali Peralta, she's from Colombia. She works for Universidad Rosario University in the Department of Jurisprudence in Law Sciences. So about this VIP course, so the type of course is a seminar, is interdisciplinary, different disciplines, law, literature, cultural studies, political sciences, sociology, and anthropology. This gives the opportunity for the students to have different perspectives about a particular topic. The language of instruction was Spanish, but there was also the opportunity for those who speak Portuguese to register to this VIP course. So I was there. I didn't see a person from Brazil, but anyway, that was also a possibility. The level, also the minimum level of participants was B2 in the Common European Framework for Languages, for international languages. So that means that they could perfectly read, write, participate, understand, and interact with others. So this level was, I would say, an upper intermediate level in Spanish. The schedule was, so this course was between March and May. And the time here, there was also an explanation that it was the Central European summer time. And there was also like a sort of additional observation that the theme changes in Germany at the end of March, so in summertime. So that means that the students who were located in other countries, for example, in Colombia or in Ghana, in Peru, they knew about that, because of this time difference in time. The methodology, so this coursework under the COIL framework, it was a combination between theory and practice. I would say, and this is connected to the keynote that we have today from Dr. Ian Davis, I would say that it was a student-centered seminar. So students participated a lot, and teachers acquired another role. They were more like guides. So I will go to the next the next part. I think that you see the other folio. So, and here, so I would say, Ines, which one did you see? Here, the VIP. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm just getting acquainted with this part. Well, and here we have the VIP courses at the JLU, just like a general description. And here we have some characteristics of these courses. So I will start with the objectives. So the VIP courses at the JLU seek to offer opportunities for collaborative, virtual, and international teaching. Also, they aim to enhance cross-cultural and digital competencies of participants. And here, participants are not only students, but are also teachers. And they attempt to provide meaningful exchanges through virtual or blended mobility. So the main characteristics, this is an international cooperation between a host institution, in this case, the JLU, with an affiliated partner university, that is Universidad Rosario. As I said before, operating under COIL practices. I will explain that later. And they consider an internationalization-oriented curriculum that is suited to cross-cultural students. The content is about international issues, use multifarious digital teaching materials and multicultural perspectives. So in general, the benefits, students of partner universities get acquainted with the host university. Learners have the freedom of choosing courses according to their needs, and they also get in touch with an international learning community. Something very important is that they receive online support. Now we go to this triangle of COIL, Collaborative Online International Learning. And according to Bielen, these COIL are also known as virtual exchange or telecollaboration, or also as a virtual mobility. But I consider that these three names are also connected to important features of these courses. So talking about virtual exchange, so via COIL, participants have the opportunities to establish meaningful contacts and network with instructors and students, not only in their own university with different faculties or departments, but also with other educational stakeholders at foreign universities. This is also very, very important. Talking about telecollaboration, COIL enabled participants the constant use of online communication and digital tools that promote learning and teaching through social interaction and collaboration among participants. From this perspective of telecollaboration, COIL moves learning and teaching processes beyond physical, financial, and geographical boundaries. And finally, in relation to virtual mobility, when talking about virtual mobility, COIL makes use of information and communication technologies to facilitate cross-border academic and cultural exchanges and cooperation among instructors and students. It highlights inclusive teaching and learning. It may also complement physical mobility, as in the case of Erasmus or the programs, etc., etc. These are the references. So we have about 8-9 minutes for a general activity, because as I said before, this is the most important part of my presentation.